Hi, welcome to English with Mandeep. Today, I'm going to share my journey as how I learned English. When I was a school-going boy, till class 10th, I had no interest in English. I was a mediocre student, and I don't know what happened when I got into class 11. Something happened. Something touched me. I don't know what that was and how it all happened. I had a kind of vibe that I must learn English. I started feeling like there is no life without English, and it really seemed of great importance to me to learn English. Well, all I can say is that I got mad. I had a kind of infatuation. I wanted to learn English by hook or by crook. But the challenge was that I didn't know how to start, and I was totally stuck. I didn't know what to do. I was in trouble. I was in hot water. It was difficult to decide. The biggest problem was that I was a student of Hindi medium school, and there was absolutely no atmosphere of English language, and I was totally stuck. My friends could see that I was not normal. My behavior changed a lot. I was aloof. I did not enjoy the company of others. I wanted to sit alone. I was always with my English books, especially with English grammar, because something was goading in me that I must learn. So I started my journey. Well, I started with my English grammar book. And I'm telling you, and that's 100% true, when you start with grammar, there's a lot of confusion, because practical is something else. You need to learn A to Z. You need to learn everything, and especially when you learn from Hindi to English, from translation method, you absolutely get stuck sometimes, because you have to translate first, and then you have to convert it into English, and that was a problem. Sometimes it delays your response. So, well, that was the only choice I had. I didn't have phone then. The phones were not so popular then. Only some people could be seen having phones, because that time it was so much expensive, and that was the time of internet. So I started with my English grammar book, and I just had a first step. My family, all the members would say that there is something wrong with this guy, because when I came home every day from school, I would come, I would not talk to them. I would like to stay alone, and I would eat less, I would sleep less, because that became my goal, that I have to learn English anyhow. They got skeptical of my behavior. They were thinking that there is something wrong with this guy. And I was always seen with a book in my hand. My father would often say that you should study, but not that hard. That could impact that could tarnish your brain, that could worsen your growth. So give time, but don't give overtime. That would not be good for you. Whenever I went to toilet, I used to speak alone. I had a list of words with me. That sounds funny, but this is true. When you love someone, when you love something, you always think about that, whether it's a human being or it's a thing. For example, if you want to have a car, right? So you would always think about it. You would search it on Google, you would search it on YouTube, and that would be your every time story. So that was the case with me. Now I went mad. I went nuts, I would say. So my mother, one day she said that there is something wrong with my boy, and it seems like his body is haunted, and he needs to be taken to a saint. He needs to be taken to a fakir who could make the devil go away from his body. And I laughed so much because this was not what they were thinking. Actually, I was going crazy for English, but they were thinking that I was going mad because I was talking to myself. Actually, I wasn't talking to myself. That was my practice because I had no one to talk to. I had no one to speak to. So I was the only person who I would speak to, who would I talk to, who would I converse with. So I don't know what happened then. That was really a funny time. But my parents were so grave about all this going on, because according to them, I was losing my control. I was losing my mental control because I was not paying attention to my health, and it was really something that they would not prefer. So then I bought an Oxford dictionary and I went through all that, and I started buying old newspapers, and I would underline the difficult words. I started expanding my vocabulary. I did all that, and apart from that, sometimes I would watch English movies, but they didn't help me that much because that time I was not able to understand had a tail of that. So it was a difficult journey, but let me tell you that when you have to gain something, you really pass through a lot of obstacles, hindrances, and finally you touch your goal, you kiss your goal. Then after some years, they understood that I wasn't mentally disturbed. I wasn't going nuts. Actually, that was my love for English. Now sometimes they tell my children that your father, he would always read English books, he would always read English dictionary, and how we thought that he was losing his mental control, and that was so funny, And now I asked my parents that you took me otherwise then, and now you see everything is normal, and now they laugh. Because that was something new they had never seen in their life. So next point is that if you want to master English, you need to be a regular learner. If you really want to learn, you must devote time. Don't think that you can become a fluent speaker overnight. Remember, Rome was not built in a day. So what you need to do is that you need to set up your time. You need to think always in English. If you start with this intention, if you have this kind of resolution that you would give time and you would always think in English, definitely no one can stop you from achieving success. So this is how I learned English, and these were the ups and downs I faced. And one thing I forgot to tell you, that when you learn something, and you don't have any means to earn, that becomes a problem. So while you learn, when you have completed your plus 2, you must earn too, so that you don't become a burden on your family, so that it eases your process of learning, so that you can buy your essentials, like you want to buy a book or something like that. So that would surely help you. So guys, thank you for listening to me so carefully, and I hope that you gained, you learned what the things were like then, and how the things went by. See you in the next podcast. Bye bye and take care.